Yeah. So yes, good morning students. So we continue ratio proportion. Students, so we have been discussing this topic for a while. For the last 1 week, we have been discussing this topic, ratio and proportion. You might understand the very concepts of this topic and where we apply this topic and what is the significance of this. I think you understand by this time. You see, this is one of the very important concepts, my dear students, in the topics that we are about to discuss in coming days. We make use of this topic, ratio and proportion. So you understand what is the ratio and what is the proportion, and in how many different cases and how many different situations we apply this concept, you know that. But students, this is not everything. This is not everything. So I can tell you that after having discussing for about 5 to 10 questions or 5 to 10 topics with you, it doesn't mean to say that we have all completed. There are many things, there are many other concepts we need to discuss. Students, this is aptitude. What I told you about aptitude? Natural ability of learning. Which means to say that you need to learn the concepts naturally, not just by using some formulas or something like. So that is the reason why every time I was actually trying to give you the main concept of the topic. I was just trying to explain you what is the concept in the topic. I am not actually giving you any formulas and anything. But you may, every time you may receive some different questions, you may come across with different concepts as such. Because we are not all done. There are an n number of modules in this topic. Therefore, be prepared for that. Be prepared for that. And as the days are passing and as we discuss so many questions, you really enjoy. Students, please keep in mind that aptitude is such a topic that we need to apply our brain on this part. Common sense, that's what I tell. But sometimes, yes, of course, sometimes it seems to be a little difficult to apply the concept. That is the reason I am trying to give you some points. My points and the basics of the very reason of explaining these questions is only to give you some what I can tell you, a clear picture of the topic, but it is not complete picture. You only get the complete picture by practicing a lot. For example, student, if I say that distribute 480 rupees between A and B in the ratio 1/2 is to 1/3. If I say that distribute 180 rupees in the ratio, yes student, I did not get you what you are asking me, man. Okay. I'll come to you. Yeah, please look at that. If I ask you to distribute the amount in the ratio 1/2 is to 1/3, then how do you distribute? Just use some concepts, because if at all, if we have to distribute this amount between A and B, then what we do? What actually 1/2 is to 1/3? So ratio is all about an understanding. Ratio is all about an understanding. For example, if I say that X and Y, an amount is supposed to be distributed between X and Y in the ratio 3 is to 4, it means to say that for every 3 rupee you are given to X, Y must be given 4 rupees. You understand that point? So students, so first thing you must be very confident in ratios is, ratio is nothing but a comparison. So usually we compare any two persons with numbers, not with the fractions or something like. Therefore, so whenever this kind of concept is given, my dear students, so whenever an amount is supposed to be distributed in the ratio 1/2 is to 1/3, what we do, you know, multiply 1/2 by 1/3 by 6, 6/2, 6/3. You know that a ratio can be multiplied by any number, that doesn't make any difference. And hence we come to know that amounts may be distributed in the ratio 3 is to 2. So my dear students, whenever an amount is supposed to be given, I mean if you are given in fraction, it is your responsibility to convert the same into numbers. You understand that? So this is the basics of ratio. So like that we get too many concepts, my dear students. Student, I am not getting the point, man. Okay, I will tell you. Oh, okay. So you mean to say that you are new to this concept? No problem. So first let me come to complete this, and after that, yes, revision is always there. Yeah, student. So for example, if I say that an amount is distributed in the ratio 1 by 2 is to 1 by 3 is to 1 by 4. Then how we divide amount? My dear students, a ratio should always be in numbers. A ratio should always be in numbers. So whenever 1 is to 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4 is given, then what we do, you know, we multiply the entire equation by 12, 12 by 2, 12 by 3 and 12 by 4. You understand? 12 by 2, 12 by 3, 12 by 4. And then it comes 6 is to 4 is to 3. Student, please do understand that a ratio is always something about the numbers. Ratio will explain you how the amount is supposed to be distributed. For example, if we come to know that amount is distributed in the ratio 6 is to 4 is to 3, it is very clear. So, out of A must get 6 parts and B must be getting 4 parts and C must be getting 3 parts. So the very important concept in ratio proportion is all about this. 1 by 2 is 1 by 4 is greater. Okay, right. Student, yes, I understand your questions and I will explain you when the time comes. So please be patient. Okay. Now here about the ratios. So this is the very interesting concept of ratio and proportion. Student, I just put some questions to you. Are you ready to answer? Right? Student, I just put some questions and let us see that how good you are at the basics right now. I understand that you are doing extremely well, but let me check it out how really you are able to answer this question. Here we go. Students, be ready. Please look at that. If at all there are 3 sections A, B, C, and out of 3 sections, students are present in the ratio 2 is to 3 is to 4. For example, 2 is to 3 is to 4. If in 3 sections the students are present in the ratio 2 is to 3 is to 4, tell me how many minimum chocolates you need to distribute among the 3 sections. How many minimum number of chocolates you need to distribute among the 3 sections? Tell me, student, how many? If the students are present in the ratio 2 is to 3 is to 4, may I know that how many minimum chocolates you need to distribute in the class? Come on, man, you are taking a lot of time. Yes, you can easily respond to my questions. Chocolates. Obviously, each person should be given a minimum of 1 chocolate. You can't give the fraction, you know. Right. You please tell me that how many minimum number of chocolates you must be having. Yes, student? Okay, very good. Yeah. So how many minimum chocolates you must be having to distribute in the 3 classes? See, 2, 3 and 4. Yes, exactly. We must be having minimum 9 chocolates. Minimum 9. That is the minimum number to start with. You understand that? 2 is to 3 is to 4. Very good. 2 is to 3 is to 4. Class A, minimum 2 chocolates. Class B, minimum 3. Class 4. Class C, minimum 4. That is the minimum number of chocolates because the number are given in the ratio 2 is to 3 is to 4. I hope you understand. Okay, my dear students, I give you one more question. Now I think you may be able to answer this. If in class X, Y and Z, if the students are present in the ratio 1 by 2 is to 1 by 3 is to 1 by 4, may I know what are the minimum number of chocolates we need to distribute in the 3 classes? If this is the question, if the students are present in the ratio 1 by 2 is to 1 by 3 is to 1 by 4. Come on, student. Exactly. So that's the point. So whenever the ratio is given in fractions, we are not convinced with the fractions. The ratio should not be in fraction. But whenever such situation arises, so what actually we do is, we multiply the same equation by 2. 12 by 2 and then it is 12 by 3 and this is 12 by 4. You know that a ratio can be multiplied by same number, doesn't make any difference. So 12 by 2, 12 by 3, 12 by 4. Therefore, 6 is to 4 is to 3. I hope you understand this. 6 is to 4 is to 3. Call Rape. Message last పెట్టే ఓకేనా రైట్ yeah student okay thank you so we are back man so yes so there is a little connection problem and yes it is now good now please tell me students so whenever ratio is 12 1 by 2 1 by 3 1 by 4 what we do you know we convert the same into the numbers to that for that what actually we do 12 by 2, 12 by 3, you know 12 is an LCM. 12 cancels by 2, 3 and of course 4. That is the reason why I have multiplied by 12. Now we understood that the ratio is 6 is to 4 is to 3. If that is the case, we must be having minimum 13 chocolates to distribute. I hope you understand my dear students. We must be having 13 chocolates. Very good, very good. 13 is very good. So 6 may be given to class X and 4 may be given to class Y, 3. That is the minimum number. So like this my dear students, we have so many things to discuss and as the class progresses, we will be discussing even more techniques like this. This is not all done. Okay, but anyway, so today I just want to discuss some of the interesting concepts in proportion man. Please write down. Please put the subheading proportion. And I just let me give you some important points in proportion. Please write one by one. Point number one. Point number one. The mean proportion between x and y. The mean proportion between x and y. X and y is equal to square root of x into y. So please write down. So what is the significance of this? I will be telling you in coming days. So right at the moment you please just note down. Okay. Please write a question basing on this concept. What is the mean proportion of? Please write down. Write down the question. What is the mean proportion between 4 and 9? What is the mean proportion between 4 and 9? So my dear students, so whenever this kind of questions are given, if you are asked to find the mean proportion, right. So mean proportion between 4 and 9, your answer must be something like this, 4 into 9, that is square root of 36 and this is 6. So that is the mean proportion between 4 and 9. Student, I will be telling you, so not right now but after some time I will telling you what is the significance of this. Okay. Next, point number 2. The third proportion of A and B is equal to B square by A. The third proportion of A and B is equal to, very good, B square by A. Point number 3, just note down, and the significance of this we will be learning in coming days, right? Next, the fourth proportion of A, B and C is equal to BC by A. That is the fourth proportion of A, B and C. BC by A. Multiply the last two numbers and divide by the one A. That's simple. Not very complicated, but you will come to know the importance of these concepts in coming days. At the moment, just note down. Okay. Number 4. The duplicate ratio of A is to B is equal to A square is to B square. Point number 5. The sub-duplicate ratio of A is to B is equal to square root of A, square root of B. Just note down, man. At the moment, let me just explain you. Yeah, I understand. What is third proportion? I will be explaining you. First, you note down the points, and later on, I will be explaining you one by one. Okay. First, you please note down. Next, point number 6. The triplicate ratio. The triplicate ratio of A is to B is equal to A cube is to B cube. That is what we call as a triplicate ratio. Next, the sub-triplicate ratio of A is to B is equal to cubic root of A, cubic root of B. Student, and you will come to know these points in coming days. At the moment, just note down the point, just note down, and after some time I will explain you in detail. Student, when I ask you to explain you what is the triplicate ratio of 2 is to 3, the point is so simple, 2 cube and of course 3 cube, and of course that is 8 is to 27. So that is what we call as the triplicate ratio. But if I ask you to know what is the sub-triplicate ratio of 1 is to 8, how we get it, man? Cubic root of 1 and cubic root of 8, and of course this is 1 is to 2. But what exactly all about this, and then when we use and where we use, probably you will come to know after some time. Okay, so this is the main concepts in proportions. And another important one, please write down. Number 8, the compound ratio of A is to B and C is to D is equal to AC is to BD, A into C and B into D. This is what we call as the compound ratio. Student, you can ask me, sir, when we use this compound ratio, what is the significance of this compound ratio? Let me explain you. Well, I will be explaining you one by one. Just you note down the points and we will definitely discuss in detail when the time comes. Student, let me suppose that in a cinema hall, in a cinema theater, there is a cinema hall. So let me suppose that there is first class and there is second class. And let me suppose that the number of seats number of seats in first class and second class are given in the ratio 2:3. So there are more second class seats when we compare with the first class. Right? So obviously in any cinema theater, obviously second class seats are more when we compare with the first class seats. Right? And what about the prices? For example, now the prices are given in the ratio 3:1. Even though we have less number of seats, but the price is more. Even though there is more number of seats, but the price is less. Now tell me student, so what about the revenue? You get more revenue from first class. How much? 2 into 3 6 and 3 into 1 3. So when it comes to the revenue, 6:3, that is 2:1. You will be getting more amount from first class. You can ask me, sir, the seats are less. Of course, maybe the seats are limited, but the price is more. So when you have more price, obviously you will be getting more revenue. This is the significance of compound ratio. For example, my dear students, you take Maruti Suzuki and you take Audi. Let us compare Maruti Suzuki with Audi. So it is absolutely clear that for every 4 Maruti Suzuki cars, you may be selling only one Audi. When it comes to number of sales, you can say that more number of Maruti Suzuki cars are sold, but obviously Audi cars are less. But what about the prices? What about the price? Prices are absolutely not same. You understand that? So maybe the prices are given in the ratio 2:7. Let us assume that. Therefore, 4 into 2 8 and 1 into 7 7. So amounts must be getting in the ratio 8:7. Therefore, maybe you might be selling more number of items, but price is also equally important. Then we make use of the concept proportions. Student, before I get into the next topic, just let me tell you one interesting point. So you see, wherever Olympic Games are held, one important event is actually that attracts billions of people, not even millions. You know what is that? 100-meter race. Always 100-meter race. 100-meter race is much talked about because everybody so curiously looks into that. So my God, who is going to be the winner? You know that? Student, may I know that who is the winner in recently concluded Olympic Games in 100 meters? May I know what is his name? Let me suppose that how you are following Olympics. In 100-meter race, recently concluded Olympic Games, who was the winner? I hope that yes, you must be following Olympics for sure. I just want to see how many of you could remember the name. Recently concluded, just 10-15 days before, not many. I think you might remember this name. Not anyone? Not even single person? Jacob. So the winner was Jacob. Yeah, very good student. I think that you are not following Olympics either. You are forgetting the name. Okay, right. So in the recently concluded Olympic Games, 100-meter race, the winner was Jacob. And earlier it was Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt won the Olympic medals for 3 consecutive times, not one time. Okay, very good. He is, of course, he is from Italy. Jacobs is from Italy. Earlier it was Usain Bolt, and previously it was Benjamin. Of course, you may not remember that. And Carl Lewis, and in the very beginning, Jesse Owens. Probably Jesse Owens is a very famous person, and you might be having in your academics as well. My question is, you see, 100-meter race, which is usually looks into with a great fanfare, it is only because in this event you will be getting the fastest man on the earth. But interestingly, in all the games, for the last 100 years, when we see in Olympics, most of the fastest runners happen to be Negroes. They come from Negroes. You can see Jacobs or Usain Bolt or somebody else, whoever he is a Negro. The significance of Negro, why only Negro becomes the winner every time? The advantage with the Negroes is their bottom portion is usually much longer than any other person. Their bottom, you can see the length, legs are wider. Negroes usually they have a wider legs. Therefore, when you say that A and B, for example, for every one stride, he is having two strides. If A is going only 1 meter, but in one stride B is actually getting 2 meters. So their strides are longer. So let us assume that B is a Negro. And not only that, this is the length of the strides. And not only that, then the momentum of the strides, let me suppose that for every 2 steps he is getting 3 steps. His legs are already wider. Not only that, he is also making faster movements, and hence their speeds will be in the ratio 1:2 and 2:3, and hence we declare that their speeds are in the ratio 1:3. The advantage with the Negroes is obviously they have longer stride because their legs are quite wider when we compare with the other people of the same height. Here we use the concept of compound ratio. Okay. Anyway, students, so we come across with this kind of things in coming days. At the moment, you understand what is the basics of ratio proportion. Now we have very few questions remaining in this topic, and once we are done, we move on to next topic. Okay. Here we go. Come on, student. Please look at that. 675 rupees. 675 rupees was divided between A, B and C. Yeah, we can divide. So whenever an amount is given, yes, we are here to divide. It's not a very big issue. But only thing is, we must be given the ratio. Tell me, student, what is the amount we need to divide? 675. What is the ratio? 1:2:3. Student, a straight question to you. Can we divide 675 in the ratio 1:2:3 straight away? Is 1:2:3 ratio can we apply on 675? Please tell me yes or no. Please tell me, student. Can we divide 675 in the ratio 1:2:3 straight away? Is 1:2:3 ratio is very good, excellent. Student, yes. Yes, it is given that 675 is supposed to be distributed between A and B and C. But what ratio? It is not 1:2:3. So when the 1:2:3 is supposed to be applied? When each of them had received 5 rupees less. So from each person, if you subtract 5 rupees, so when 15 rupees is subtracted, then the remaining amount must be distributed in the ratio 1:2:3. Student, tell me, man. So 1:2:3 ratio is applicable on 660, not on 675. Yeah, very good, very good. Yeah, very good, student. But 220 is not correct answer, man. I will explain you. Please wait for some time. So 1:2:3 ratio is applicable on 660 rupees. You understand that? Now, what is the ratio? You are asked to find B's ratio. So 2/6 into 660, and hence that is 220. But 220 is the share of B after reducing 5 rupees, and hence your final answer will be 225. I hope you understand, my dear students. Your final answer is 225. Get my point? 220 is of course correct, but that 5 rupees we must add to make it final. I hope you understand, my dear students. Maybe one more question will help you to understand this question correct. Okay, man? So I will be making some changes in the question, then let me see how you are actually answering this one. Student, in place of 5 rupees, if I give you 25 rupees, tell me what is going to be your answer for the same question. And of course, I just want to make another change. In place of B, you take A. I made two changes. Do respond. What is going to be your answer? 75 rupees. Okay. I understand your point. But student, whenever you want to send a message, please see that it should be very little words, because it is very difficult for me to read all the messages. Yeah. Okay, student. So 675 rupees is supposed to be distributed between 3 persons. Okay. But how? When 25 rupees is subtracted from all the 3 people, that is when 75 rupees is subtracted, which means to say that the remaining 600 should be distributed in the ratio 1:2:3. So 1:2:3 ratio is applicable for 600 rupees, and hence A ratio will be 1 part out of 6 into 600, that is 100. But 100 is not the final answer, because 25 rupees is subtracted from A also. Therefore, that 25 rupees must be added, and hence your answer is 125 rupees. I hope you understand, my dear students. Yes, from the options I can see that yes, you are doing extremely well. Very good, man. Very good. So I think yes, we can go to the next questions, because I can see that you are following so well. Come on, student. So here we go. We move on to next question. So for this question, you are given only 1 minute of time. Please try to answer within that 1 minute. Your time starts now. Go ahead. Student, yes, I think I am waiting for your answer, ma'am. I hope that you must be able to respond. Last 10 seconds. Three, two, one. Time is up. May I know how many of you could able to answer within the given time? Yes, I could see some of the responses so quickly, but make sure that you are not making any mistake, man. You are not making any mistake. You must be getting the correct answer. Very good. You can give the options just like that, 1, 2, 3, 4. You need not write all the number actually, right? But anyway, see, man. So here we go. So the amount is 1074. 1074 is supposed to be distributed among A, B and C. How we distribute? When their shares are diminished by 6 rupees, 8 rupees and 10 rupees, which means A 6 rupees, from B 8 and from C 10. So when 24 rupees is diminished, the remaining amount 1050 may be distributed in the ratio 4:5:6. Remember, student, 4:5:6 ratio is applicable for 1050. So tell me, What is your answer? What is your question? A's share. So 4 by 15 into 1050. Of course 280. Because 15 cancels for 70 times. But 280 is not your final answer. So what about the amount that is distributed? 6 rupees is distributed from A. That 6 rupees you must add. So your answer is 280. Student, actually my process of teaching is I just don't just tell and just leave it off, because unless you understand, there is no meaning in discussing the questions with you. But how would I know whether you are following or not? Because you the people are not visible to me. The only way is I'm getting the messages. So your messages help me to understand whether we are going in the right direction or not. Okay, man? So I hope that yes, you are getting the point right. So we complete the remaining questions. So here we go. What number should be subtracted from both the terms of the ratio 15:19 in order to make it 3:4? Student, I believe that some of you might have asked this question. Yes, for 2 to 3 days before. Yes, one student sent me this message. Sir, how to answer this? And for your information, this is your answer. Student, so whenever both the ratios are given, we have no other option but to approach through answers. So we have to approach through the given options. So what is the actual ratio? 15:19. What should be subtracted? This is ratio, again this is also ratio, which means to say that we cannot straight away answer this question. We have to approach through the options. Check it out 9, if it never good, check it out with 6, then 5. Of course this time it is okay with 3. How you know? 15 minus 3 and 19 minus 3. 15 minus 3 is 12. 19 minus 3 is 16. 12 is to 16. 3 by 4. Correct. When in both the cases you are given ratio. Okay. So this kind of questions we can get only through the options. We verify one by one. And by verify one by one we can get their answer. Not very big issue. Okay. Now question number, check it out man, what you are asked to find. What number should be added? Both the terms 5:9, and after adding the ratio becomes 3:5. As I told you that we have no other option but to approach through the given options. We have no other way, right? So look at the first option, 5 plus 1. You can see that. And for second number, 9 plus 1. 5 plus 1 is 6, 9 plus 1 10. 3 by 10, which is 3 by 5. That is 3:5. So this is the only method that we can adopt. Of course, you can also solve the question, but there is no such need. You can approach through the given options. Very simple man. I don't want to waste your time because the concept is so simple. Now we move on to next one. Student, this is the question and given in your campus selection process. This question is the previous one. Now question seems to be a little complicated. Question seems to be too lengthy, but the way in which you are doing this concept, the way in which you are handling this concept will definitely make it easy for us. Want to know how? Just read the question. Read the question, student. Read the question. I put some questions to you and you are supposed to answer me. Please understand the question. Don't do it straight away. Please understand this. Number of students studying in college A and B are in the ratio 3:4. If 50 more students join college A and there is no change in the number of college B, the respective ratio becomes 5:6. Tell me student, what was the initial ratio? 3:4. And how the ratio is changed? 5:6. Student, a question to you. In the process, which college number is actually changing? Which strength of the college is actually changing? Yeah, very good man. Excellent. Excellent. So, college A. And may I know that which college strength remains same? Which college strength remains same even after the change? May I know that? Which college strength remains same? Okay, that's right. Student, please listen to me. Actually, the strength of A and B is given in the ratio 3:4, and the same ratio is changed to 5:6. But do understand, we are not adding both. We are not adding students in both the colleges. We are adding students only in college A. May I know that, student? So which excellent, college B, very good, college B strength is absolutely remains the same. Student, I want to make some changes over here, and I hope that you really follow this, right? Now just see how I am actually changing. 9:12, 3:4, I am taking as 9:12. You know that I can take, there is no mistake, I can take 3:3, 4:3. Come on, student. And 5:6, I am making it 10:12. Do you understand what is the significance of taking like this? Please respond. Why I am taking like this? Come on, student. 9:12, 10:12. What is the point in taking like this? Please respond. Why? What is the necessity? Why I am doing all these changes? What is my intention? May I know, my dear students, what is my intention of doing something like this? There must be something in my brain why I am doing this. Wonderful, excellent. I appreciate that, my dear students. Yes, strength of college B remains the same. The only change we can see is college A. So strength of college B remains the same. So it is the significant point of taking like this is, I want to see that college B strength remains the same. Tell me, college A strength, which was actually 9 parts, becomes 10 parts. Tell me, students, therefore strength of college A increases by 1 part. By adding how many people? 50 more. So in this question, every 50 is 1. Student, please do respond. Am I clear to you? Wonderful. That's a very good point, my dear students. I really appreciate that. We are going in the very good right direction. May I know that, am I doing right? Is the point is correct? Every 1 point is 50. In this question, every point 1 is 50. What you are asked to find? College B. 5 into 50 is 600. I mean 12 into 50. Because every 1 part is 50. 12 into 50, 600. What, man? I hope you understand the point. Oh my God, very good. See how beautifully we handle this question. So the point is so simple, man. There is no complication actually. Student, I think yes, we are doing extremely well. Very good. So I think yes, we can move on to next one. So you could see that college B is kept constant. This is the beauty of aptitude. So once you are into the topic, you really enjoy this topic so well. Student, I think I need to make some changes in the questions and check it out how you are doing this. Are you ready, man? Are you ready? So shall I make some changes in the questions? Yeah, you are asking me to explain this once again. We discuss one more question. Why to explain the same question again? We discuss in a different direction, same question. Student, are you ready, man? I hope so. Yes. Right. Very good. Now here we go. Student, just look at that. If Come on student, just note down. 50 more students are join A. Cancel. Now just note down. If 100 students removed from B, removed from college B, and there is no change in college A, then what is your answer? Student, just look it out. I removed 100 students. Very good, very good, very good. Wonderful. Yes, you are doing extremely well, man. I appreciate that. So in this question, check it out what I did. 100 students are removed from college B and there is no change in the number of students in college A, and now the respective ratio becomes 5:6. Now my question is, what is the number of students in college B? Come on student. If this is the case, then how do we answer this? Yeah, very simple, not a complicated one. We can easily handle this. Actually, the initial ratio was 3:4 and the ratio changes to 5:6. Student, so actually the ratio is changed only because 100 students are removed from college B, which means to say that only in one particular college, yes student, I will repeat that once again. Only in this question, the ratio is supposed to be changed only because 100 students are removed from college B. See what kind of changes I am doing, please follow. 3:4, I am taking it as 15:20. Yes, I am eligible, I can take it. I am eligible, I am absolutely eligible. And 5:16, I am taking it as 15:18. Student, please let me know whether this particular ratio is okay for you. May I know that? I hope you understand this. I hope you understand this, because I want to keep A constant, because there is no change in the number of students in college A. So what is the only change we can see, man? So B, where there were actually 20 parts, now they become only 18. How many parts? 2 parts are removed from college B because of 100 students. So 100 students, 2 parts, which mean to say that in this question every one part is 50. Student, have you seen that? What I am actually doing, I just kept A constant, because whatever the changes are happening only because of B. So I have to keep A constant. I hope you understand, my dear students. Get it? Therefore, every one part is 50, 20 parts, 20 into 50,000. So your answer should have been 1000. I believe that many of you might have done it so well. And in fact, yes, wonderful man, wonderful. 2 parts are 100, 1 part is 50. Student, I am asking you to find college B. 750 is correct if I ask you to find college A. Your answer 750 is also correct if it is college A. But college B, therefore, yes, your answer must be 1000. Very good. I appreciate, man. So we are going in the right direction. So you are getting the point so well. We complete the remaining questions. Students, here we go. So these are simple questions. Let us not take too much of time. 3 numbers are in the ratio 3:2:5. Sum of their squares. So whenever this kind of question is given, we have no other option but to do it like this. So let the numbers be 3x, 2x and 5x, and sum of the squares 3x whole square and 2x whole square and 5x whole square. There is no logic in this question, man. We can simply do it like this, is equal to 1862. Therefore, 9x square plus 4x square plus 25x square is equal to 1862. Therefore, 29, 38. So, 38x square is equal to 1862. When you solve the question, you will be getting it. And on solving actually x square, you will be getting 49 implies x is equal to 7. Therefore, 3 into 7 21, 2 into 7 14 and 5 into 7 35, because every x is equal to 7. Student, this kind of questions you don't find any logic, man. This is so simple. I hope you understand this. Okay. So as such, the question is so simple, I don't want to waste your time. We can quickly move on to next question. Okay. Now here we go. Yeah, students, exactly. So 2600 rupees is divided between A, B, C in the ratio 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4. Student, yes, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4. In the beginning, yes, we are actually discussing this point. So this is not convenient. So whenever the things are given like this, 12 by 2, come on, 12 by 3 and then 12 by 4. So you divide the amount in the ratio 6:4:3. Ratio should always be in numbers. It should not be in fraction, as we are discussing for a long time. Ratio is all about comparison of numbers, not about the fractions. So if at all fractions are given, we are forced to convert the same. See, why 12 is taken? 12 is the LCM of 2, 3, 4. So what you are asked to find? B's share. So 4 by 13 into 2600, and hence your answer must be 800. Student, if the questions are easy, I don't want to waste your time, students. I will be waiting you. I will be discussing straight away. Okay. Now yes, we move on to next question, my dear students. Here we go. Please answer this question quickly. I am waiting for your answer. Quick. I did not put any time. Yes, I think you can easily answer this question. Come on, student, what are you waiting for? Quick. You must be ready with pen and pencil, man, my dear students. I don't think that you are just watching this video, man. No. We should be doing together. It is not just watching, man. This is aptitude. We need to work together. If you don't work together, you will not be getting anything out of this. Please make a point of that. Right. Come on, student. Yes, may I know what is your answer? Those who can respond quickly, yes, you please respond, man. Some of say that some of they are watching from mobiles, it may be difficult for them to respond. But the people who are very good. Yes, excellent. I can see that you have responded so well. So 1 by 5, 1 by 6 and 1 by 10, this is not convenient, man. Now the LCM is 30. You take any number so that is divisible by 3, 5, 6 and 10, that's it. You can take any number. There is no such restriction. And hence the ratio changes to 6:5:3. If you want to take 60, you take, man. If you want to take 120, you take. There is no such what you can tell you regulations. You can take any number. What, student? What is your point? Your answer? Yeah. Yes, I can see your answer, man. Yes. Therefore, the share of C is equal to 3 parts. 3 by 14 into 8,1400. So this cancels for 6 times. Therefore, your answer will be 1800. Therefore, second option. Yes, student. Yes, I could see your answer, and you are doing extremely well. Okay. So I think we can move on to next question. So 1300 rupees is distributed between A, B and C such that 2/3 of A's share is equal to 4/7 of B, which means 2/3 of A is equal to 4/7 of B. Come on student, get cancelled. You take B over here. A by B is equal to 3 into 2 6/7. Therefore 6:7. Simple calculation, it doesn't require any logic, man. I don't want to waste your time for this kind of questions. So find A's share. 6/13 into what is the amount? 1300. Therefore your answer is 600. I hope you understand. So if the question is easy, I don't want to waste your time, man. So yes, we are going in the right direction. Maybe some of the students may be feeling it little difficult. Probably they might have joined just yesterday or today as well. No problem. We will be repeating the same. But this is all about ratio proportion. We almost discussed many of the models, but still there are hundreds of models remaining. It doesn't mean to say that you can get the perfection and aptitude in 1 or 2 days or in just 1 week. It is a process. I was actually trying to give you the process of learning actually. So I never mean to say that because we discuss about 10 models or 15 models, we are all done. How can we say that? But this is the basics, and with the basics now you are getting, you should be able to handle the questions of your own. But it may not be that easy. It takes some time. Okay. So my dear students, so this is all about aptitude, and this kind of questions is not very difficult. I don't want to waste your time, because these questions we can straight away answer something like this. See, A by B is equal to 1/2. See, whenever this kind of questions are given, A by B is equal to 1/2. 1:2 means 1/2, and B by C is equal to 3/5, because you are asked to find A is to B is to C. So when you are asked to find A is to B is to C, so the only simple thing you must understand is you have to keep B value constant. 1:2, can we take it as 3:6? Yes, of course. And B is to C can be taken as 6:10. It is only to see that value of B should be same. So when we have the same value for B, so we can straight away take 3:6:10. Probably I don't need to waste your time on this kind of questions, because you are already comfortable doing this kind of questions. Okay. Okay students, so this is all about the basics. You try to take a test today, because today you are going to take a test on ratio and proportion. I hope that many of the questions you can handle with confidence, but if you find any difficulty in those questions, give a try. So give a serious attempt, and hopefully you can handle this topic further. So you today are going to attempt the topic, and please take it seriously and do your level best. Okay, right.